Hello and welcome to my channel. Here I review new movies and television shows and release a review per day from Monday to Friday. Today we are talking about this week's episode of Rings of Power, The Great Wave. It heavily features the Numenor and Moria storylines with just a spattering of scenes from the Southlands. The hobbits took the week off to travel. We start in Numenor. Queen Muriel has nightmares of Numenor's fall. She meets with Galadriel, who tries to convince her to send troops to help the Southlands. Halbrand tries to convince Galadriel to take a different approach, and Isildur gets himself thrown out of the cadets. In Lindon, Elrond watches over the construction of the Great Forge. The elves and dwarves work together to build it, but Durin is still hiding something. Elrond heads to Moria to investigate. Meanwhile, down in the Southlands, Arondir meets with the mysterious Adar. Adar lets him go with a message for the townsfolk hiding in Ostirith. Bronwyn and the others have made it to Ostirith and are taking in refugees. They're also running out of food, but Theo has a plan to get more. The story felt very rushed this week, and the quality of the writing seems to have really suffered from it. We still get great moments like Disa singing to the rock or Waldreg's reveal, but there is a lot that is skipped over or poorly done. In Numenor, Galadriel escapes the tower and then magically appears at her destination. We never actually see her chase through town. Her action sequences are also heavily contrived, and you have to turn your brain off to make it through them. The episode spends 90% of Numenor's screen time explaining why Queen Muriel is acting the way she is, and then 180s on all of it during the ending. It happens in a really cheesy way, and Galadriel is childish and off-putting the entire time. Arondir's storyline is also pretty stupid. Why would Adar let him go with a message and then not make sure he gets to Ostirith? Arondir could have died in the forest before delivering his message. That action sequence was next level garbage, and I have no idea why orcs are terrified of sunlight sometimes, but at other times will gleefully walk through it like nothing is wrong. Elrond's story was really interesting, and we got a lot of dwarven culture out of it, but I wish they had given the Mind Collapse story more time to stew. We see it happen, get one scene to think it over, and then it's done in the next. It happens too fast to build real suspense. The acting was okay this week. There were a couple of good moments, but nothing really special happens in this episode. We get some strong emotions from Durin, but everyone else is pretty even-tempered. The standouts to me were Sophia Nomvet and Jeff Morrell. Honorable mentions to Robert Arameo and Owain Arthur as well. Sophia Nomvet as Disa does a wonderful job. She is great in her scenes with Elrond and Durin, and her singing voice was really divine. Jeff Morrell as Waldreg has one amazing scene near the end where we get to see his true character. His menacing tone and the look in his eyes are disturbing, and I'm here for it. As usual, the soundtrack really elevates the series and makes every area feel unique and special. They make sure that every moment has something to back it, and we even got a special song in this episode. Disa's rock singing was new and exciting. It's the kind of thing that really fleshes out the lore of a series. The costumes and sets still looked fantastic this week. The episode is shot in an interesting way, and we get a lot of epic moments. The problem is that the action downright sucks. Arondir's action sequence is entirely slow motion, makes very little sense, and never introduces any element of danger. If you watch closely, the orcs run through the same clearing over and over, and never even get to the same area of forest as Arondir and his group. Galadriel and Theo's aren't much better. Galadriel's scene is so quick you could blink and miss it, and it makes little sense. Galadriel would have needed to do a whole lot more than 2 single pushes to get all 4 of those guards into that cell, but she doesn't. She wimpily shoves them, and they go flying like she's Supergirl. Theo sneaks through a field of orcs like he's doing a stealth mission in one of the games, and you just have to ignore all the blind and deaf orcs standing around looking for this kid. The dwarves and the hobbits are really saving this series for me. The elves are basically indistinguishable from humans, and the human storylines, they're just boring. Nothing happens but shoddy action and lots of drama baiting. If this show has any hope of surviving, they're going to need to do a lot better with these action sequences. They look really cheap for a $1 billion show. I'll keep watching this season, but right now I can't see myself going past it unless they really pick up the writing. 5 out of 10.